Darren Ambrose, Arsenal are in the top 4, got games in hand on United. I think this will be they'll have 3 games in hand after this game on United. Do you think make them the favourites now, Arsenal, for that 4th spot?
Certainly, yeah. I made them favourites a couple of weeks ago as well when they had the games in hand. Now they've not only got games in hand, they've now got the points on the board as well. So if Manchester United do end up losing this game and Arsenal are sat in 4th with games in hand, 6 points above Spurs on the same games, West Ham having a slight blip in form as well. Wolves are out of it now, in my opinion, which is a shame because Bruno Lage done a great job, but I think they're out of the top 4 race at present. So yeah, I'll make them front runners. I think so. Yeah, I think you differ from me, and I think that we've got a lot of Arsenal fans, and we'll probably speak to one later in the studio that says top 6 is acceptable. I think if it was, and I only look at this as a Spurs supporter, if it was the flip side and this was Spurs in Arsenal's current position and then didn't make top 4, the word bottlers, Spursy, everything would come out in everyone's vocabulary. So I think you've got to say the same. If Arsenal don't make top 4 now, I think that it's not been a great end to the season, and I think you can say they bottled it.
Well, you look at Arsenal right now, they currently sit 4th. They've played 25 games. If they were to win their game in hand, they go 2 points behind Chelsea. So I'm not saying they could get third.
So, I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I'll put it back on you. Are you happy? Are you thinking right now we are well in the hunt for top 4? We need to make top 4, and potentially we could get to top 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking top 6.
Top 6.
I'm thinking top 6. Listen, I'm not getting carried away. I know what you're going to say.
That's reverse psychology from you.
I agree.
No, but it's not. I just think where Arsenal have been so inconsistent the last few seasons, for years. I know they're sitting in 4th with games in hand, playing really well. I love the job that Arteta's doing. Made some big decisions with the likes of Aubameyang. But you know what? We might just hold it here for 1 second just because...
nearly. Good chance.
But no, I think Arsenal right now are in prime position. I'm still a bit concerned. But if they were to fall out the top 4 and they were to finish 6th back into Europe...
So you'd be happy with that?
Remember, we've gone from no Europe to back into Europe.
Yeah, but we spoke about this last week, and expectations change throughout the season. Surely now your expectation has to change.
The fact you're cowering away from it could be a problem for Arsenal, because there's been no pressure on Arsenal in terms of getting in the top 4. I don't think anybody expected it to happen, especially after the start you had to the season. And there will become a different pressure on what is a young group of players if by the end of tonight you are in that 4th place, and I think you will be, barring something quite dramatic at the Etihad. Suddenly the pressure is on Arsenal because you're in the box seat. You've got the games in hand. The fact you're still saying the top 6 would be acceptable, which is absolute nonsense, by the way.
It is acceptable.
No, it isn't.
It is. We were rock bottom 3 games into the season.
3 games?
Doesn't matter. Rock bottom.
Spurs were top 3 games
People
in.
were laughing at us.
I just hope the Arsenal players have a bit more faith in their ability than you, the Arsenal fan, does.
I agree. You won the same amount of games as Chelsea. Just drew a few less. So you've got this. You've won 15 games, and so has Chelsea. Chelsea sit in 3rd. I think expectations change. You have...
I think only Man
tough
City.
Games. Okay, you have tough games coming up. I agree with that. But you're on one of the best current runs of form as well. And the players look like they're playing full of confidence. I think as an Arsenal supporter, you need to be aiming for top 4 100% this season.
Only Manchester City and Liverpool, I think I'm right in saying, have won more league games this season than Arsenal.
To the top side.
You are essentially, effectively 1 point better off as well, because currently you have the best goal difference in everyone that's competing for the top 4.
Well, Arsenal fans, listen, you can get in touch 03 717 22 33 44. If Arsenal don't get top 4 this season with the current position where they are, is that failure, or would top 6 still be acceptable? As I said, 03 717 22 33 44. So I'm not sure it's failure. Because they're not in Europe now.
Not so much failure, because if you finish in the top 6, okay, you've progressed from last year.
It's about progression.
But the word failure, okay, but bottled it a little bit in terms of you sat there in top 4. A few weeks ago, Crookie, it was, well, they're 6th, 7th, but they've got a lot of games in hand. Now they have games in hand and the points on the board.
It will be a massive opportunity miss when you look at the problems that Manchester United have had this season, the fact Tottenham are still in a period of transition with Antonio Conte, the fact West Ham didn't strengthen in January and they seem to have fallen away, the fact Wolverhampton Wanderers, who were coming up the rails at one stage, they've fallen away. This is Arsenal's to lose. Whatever way you paint it, if they don't end up in the Champions League places...
But it's not failure.
You will be disappointed.
That's going to be disappointed. It's not failure, though, is it? From where Arsenal were start of the season and last season, and as you said it there,
it's a failure from where you are now.
Nobody would have expected Arsenal to finish inside the top 4. I was one of them that said if they can get back in the top 6, that's a really good season. And I get it, expectations change, but I still wouldn't call it failure.
I mean,
failure.
Failure. I agree with Crookie to a certain extent.
Failure would be Liverpool, Man City, or Chelsea falling outside the top
But
four.
failure from your current position now. Now.
You're right. Yeah.
Failure from now, where you are now, points on the ball, games in hand. If Manchester United go on to lose this, you're in massive favourites, in my opinion, to get top four.
And I'll tell you what, if you don't get top four, the first person knocking on the owner's door should be Bukayo Saka, because that kid is too good not to be playing in the Champions League next season.
Some of the goals in today's game as well.
Yeah,
all
fantastic.
4 of them, absolutely fantastic.
Well, as I said, Arsenal fans, 03717 22 33 44. We want to know, is top four, if you don't finish inside the top four, is that failure, or is it still progression if you finish inside the top 6? And we're going to be talking about a little bit later on about the bottom half of the table, the relegation battle. And the Crookie, you saw Watford today. Do you give them any chance at all of staying up, or do you think that's them done?
No, I'm not sure I would give them a chance of staying up, I have to be honest. I don't think their recruitment in January was good enough. I don't know where the goals are coming from. I was actually disappointed with Emmanuel Dennis today, who had quite a bad day.
I like him, though,
at the office. I'm just not convinced they've got enough. And I think what it does, actually, if you look at it, going into the weekend, there was a big possibility that the 3 teams that come up from the Championship could go straight back down. I don't think that will happen now, because I think that win for Brentford will probably be enough to get them over the line. But
Tony, friend of the boot room.
Norwich are doomed. Watford, I think, will go as well. So 2 of the 3 going down. I think it shows the gap is widening between the top of the Championship and the Premier League. Do
you know what, you're saying this right? And I'm agreeing with you. I'm worrying about Watford. I mean, when Roy went there, I thought it was a perfect appointment.
They can't win at home.
I think that's an issue. But still, if they were to win one game, they go to 22 points, which is level with Everton.
Yeah, I agree with Crookie. I think Norwich and Watford are all but down, in my opinion. I think the 3rd relegation spot is out of 4, and I do add Brentford into that as well. They play Burnley next. If Burnley obviously get the result, it drags them back into it. I think it's out of Burnley, Everton, Leeds and Brentford out the 3rd relegation.
Everton, do you think there's a strong possibility, and again we're going to talk about this later on, do you genuinely think there's a strong possibility that Everton could get relegated?
There's a possibility. That I don't think it's strong. I think there's a possibility. I think they are in a scrap. They need to pick up results, absolutely. Other than everyone else on there, they have got games in hand, and we know games in hand are not normally that relevant because you have to win them. But I think out of the 4, Everton are most likely to get out of it, Everton and Brentford. But I still think they are. There is a possibility that they are in the relegation scrap, of course.
Yeah, of course. And obviously a team that's close to your heart does. Crystal Palace, positive yesterday. Some really good performances. Wolves, by the way, at the minute, seem to have completely fallen by the wayside when it comes to the top 4. West Ham haven't to a point, but I think a lot of people are starting to think it's starting to catch up with them. Size of their squad, still in the Europa, just got out the FA Cup. But Crystal Palace, you've been making bold predictions on Crystal Palace all season. Happy with what you saw yesterday?
Yeah, I thought first half, I thought they were outstanding. I think Wilfried Zaha, I think he proves a lot of people wrong season on season. I think that was his 9th Premier League goal yesterday. So, but there's a special talent in Crystal Palace team. It's Michael Elise, and whether Crystal Palace can hold on to him for a long time, I hope they do. I hope he can learn his trade.
You've been one
Palace.
saying about him that he is a special talent, and I always ask you the question: what is he better than Eze? Because Eze was the one that used to really excite me. But the way you speak about this kid, it's almost like he is maybe better. I
mean, I was always told when Eze signed from QPR that there was another player, another wide player in the Championship at Reading that he's a lot younger, is also fantastic, if not better. And I never believed that because Eze is a sensational talent as well. We've not seen much of him, even when he's come back from his injury. We've not seen much, and look, he is absolutely fantastic. But Elise is way up there, and he is full of confidence. I mean, the slight chance he had yesterday when he bent it with his left foot, great save. Absolutely, to get them 2 for 24 million before add-ons, I think it's great business for Crystal Palace, because I think you could sell them both now for probably 45-50 million each.
Do you reckon, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
And do you think there'll be takers? Who, in your opinion, will go first? And I know you're not trying to sell off Crystal Palace players. We know that's your club. But, of course, when you play for a club that's, you'd have to say, kind of mid-table to maybe top 8, and you get a top 4 sides coming in for them, which one out of them 2 do you think would potentially go first?
I mean, like you said, I'm hoping that none of them do. I'm hoping that they both stay. I think the problem I have, if Eze continues to be left on the bench and not play, I know he's had a long injury, but if he continues to not play, even when he comes in, he does well in the cup games, and then he doesn't play again, you know what it's like. You can get frustrated by that, and it's a bit of a false frustration. I can see them both staying. I don't think anyone will pay the 50 odd million for them. If not, I don't think Palace will let them go. If they keep progressing this season under Patrick Vieira, I think you could see them there for at least another 2-3 seasons.
Absolutely. And Crookie, just a quick one before we go and speak to Mickey at half-time. Leeds, you think they looked a bit better? We know they got beat yesterday 1-0 by Leicester, but obviously they're now trying to cope with life after Bielsa. Do you think they look defensively maybe? I know they only conceded 1 rather than their usual customary 3 or 4, but do you think they look better?
They looked a bit better organised. They looked a bit more cohesive as a unit, but I guess you kind of expect that when a new manager comes in, that instant reaction. Ultimately, they've lost another game. And I do think it could be a difficult end to the season for them. I think Patrick Bamford is edging closer to fitness. That will obviously give them a threat up front. They need to get Kelvin Phillips back playing games on a regular basis as well. But we're going to talk about it later. You're going to ask for the 3 to go down. I've given you 2. I think Leeds are in real jeopardy as Harry Maguire misses an absolute sitter in the derby. How bad has he been?
Listen, I asked Crookie about Leeds and man somehow ends up Maguire. Well, listen, it is now half-time at the Etihad where Manchester City are currently still winning 2-1 against Manchester United. Just go and see how it sounded with Mickey Gray.
Yes, it is half-time and it's Manchester City 2, Manchester United 1. A brace from Kevin De Bruyne. He's first coming after 4 minutes. Really good work from Bernardo Silva. Got to the byline. He just played it back to De Bruyne, who slotted the ball in the back of the net. And it was Manchester United's turn. Really wonderful pass from Paul Pogba out to the left-hand side to Jadon Sancho, who had shot the ball onto his right foot and just curled it past Ederton into that bottom left-hand corner. The second goal from Kevin De Bruyne came from really good work from Phil Foden, who flicked it over the top of Victor Lindelof's head. Superb save from David De Gea from Foden's right foot. Came back out to Silva. It was blocked on the line and then fell kindly to Kevin De Bruyne again, who just slotted the ball into the back of the net. A lot of possession, a lot of opportunities for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola going into half-time pretty pleased. But there's work to be done for Ralph Rangnick at half-time, no question about that. Half-time here at the Etihad. Man City 2, Man United 1.
Great stuff there. Well, listen, Arsenal fans, it's about you. Can you get into the top 4? Is top 4, if you don't get top 4, is that failure? Or is top 6 maybe not progression? I personally don't think it's failure, but Darren Ambrose thinks that if Arsenal don't get into the top 4, it's failure. And Alex Cook, I think, would agree. So 03 717 22 33 44. You listen to The Boot Room on talkSPORT.
Darren Bent's Boot Room. Fast-paced football fallout. Every Sunday night from 5. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.